fighting a guy with a very good record, Shawn Wods. And Rich, let's talk a little bit about Shawn Wods. He, of course, is a guy who I think is in the process of trying to make up his mind whether this is a vocation or an avocation.
Well, I think you're right, because he's a guy who has an impressive record, but he's a guy who doesn't fight much. There you see that he's won his last 3 fights, but by the same token, he hasn't fought in 7 months, and he's had some of this inactivity, some of these lapses during the course of his career. But you can't argue with that record. That's pretty good, Barry, 10-2. And we'll see tonight if he can indeed test Cal Brock.
And of course, he does have some pop, as you can tell by the 9 knockouts in his 10 victories. Caliber of opponent, not quite so good. But that can also be said about this guy, very honestly. A terrific amateur.
Yeah, he did very well as an amateur. There's no doubt about that. Won a number of amateur titles, Barry, then went into the Olympic Games. One of the amateur championships that he did win was the 1998 Golden Gloves. And there you see him with a trophy. He's going for far more than trophies now. You know, this is a guy who's a college graduate with a degree in finance, and he wants to put that to work.
And still, of course, a learning process for him. A very limited career thus far. He's only had the 4 fights. He's won them all, but still a lot of question marks about Cal.
Yeah, I think so, because, you know, when he did get to the Olympic Games, when he did face the top-notch competition, Barry, he went out in the first round. And as a pro, he really, you know, although he's winning, as he won this opener for him against Zebeli Kimbrough, it was a guy against a guy completely outclassed. And that's what happens, of course, early in guys' careers as they build up their records, build up their confidence, and learn about the pro game. And now we're going to have to see if he can take some steps up here and improve as he goes along.
And it does seem like Shawn Wods is at least, whether it's a big step or whether it's a mini step, I don't know, but it is a step up in at least some direction and to some degree. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, see how these two match up with one another, Calvin Brock and Shawn Wods. Wods, as we said, has fought sporadically, but he has had 12 fights to Brock's only 4. Brock an inch taller and 33 pounds heavier than Wods. Wods with a slight reach advantage, but Wods at 30 years old, clock is ticking on him. For Brock, he needs not only a win, he needs to be impressive. Let's get to it. Here's the ring announcer, Jimmy Leonard Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the Sunset Station here in the beautiful city of San Antonio, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a big night of action coming your way. It's fight time on Fox Sports Net, and it's all brought to you by America Presents. Tonight's bouts are sanctioned by the Texas State Department of Licensing and Regulation, the Executive Director, William Kuntz, and the Boxing Director, Dick Cole. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Robert Lowry and Dr. Jose Coronado. Timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns. We have Joe Masterpool and Mario Pastrano. And the third man to the ring of the referee in charge of this bout, introducing Ruben Carrion. All right, fans, here we go. The big boys of boxing in the ring, heavyweight, scheduled for 6 rounds of action. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing white trunks with blue trim. Originally from Lincolnton, North Carolina, he is now fighting out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He weighed in at an even 200 pounds. His hard-hitting record stands at 10 wins, 2 losses, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Shawn, the Sledgehammer Wood. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner in this 6-round heavyweight attraction. He is wearing gold trunks with blue trim from Charlotte, North Carolina. He weighed in at 233 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with 4 wins, no losses, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 2000 U.S. Olympian known as the boxing banker, Calvin, Mr. Sure Right Brock. Once again, Ruben Carrion, our referee in charge. Now the instructions, 6-round scheduled bout.
All right, Shawn, Captain, you know the rules in the dressing room. Any questions? I'm going to caution you again. Obey my commands at all times. Watch your heads in sight and watch the low blows. I don't want to see none. All right? Most important of all, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, return to your corner.
Let's take a look at the rules and how they will be. These are the ABC unified rules. The 3 knockdown rule will not be in effect. No standing 8 count. A fighter can't be saved with the bell in any round. Just the referee will be able to stop the fight. The headbutt rule, we go to the cards after 4 rounds. So Brock in the gold trunks and Woods in the white. And questions to be answered, I think, on both sides of this one, Rich.
Well, yeah, when Cal Brock, I think everybody's waiting to see if he shows a little more flash. Now, it's hard to say that he hasn't been. I mean, he's 4-0 with 3 KOs, and he's, fought pretty well, but he has not been necessarily spectacular. He's learning the game in there, the pro game, as he goes along. Cal looking at a little bit better shape. And that'll be, going to do that too as he goes along.
Pretty good left hand. One thing to point out is that both these fighters came in here stone cold. Neither one has broken a sweat, period. And any fighter will tell you, you want to at least break a sweat, be loose coming into the ring, or you really risk a flash knockdown.
Shouldn't take long, though, in this humidity.
No, it's toasted. Woods, a wild swinger who does leave himself open after he throws his punches.
He fought only once in the year 2000, did Woods. That was November 8th when he TKO'd James Gerstein, but that was in the first round. So that means, Barry, since 1999, he's had only one professional fight. You're talking about, a year and a half, and then you're talking about that being, a very short fight. So just not much activity. You can't stay sharp like that.
And for Brock, I mean, he's not been in there as a professional against anybody who's struck back in anger.
I think he's getting to Woods here early.
Nice kind of left hand. That started Woods. Woods is wobbly, and he's not far from going here.
An uppercut straightened that up. Brock, I really like the way he's throwing his punches, Barry. Not only are they hard, but he's really shortened up on his punches. And they look good the way he's throwing them. Here's a mandatory 8 count to Woods, who's in deep trouble as he gets up at the count of 9.
Still a little bit wobbly, still more than a minute to go here in this first round. Brock has handled this very well.
He's punching. His technique looks much better, Brock's, and he's punching very well. Short punches, looking crisp.
Yeah, and not getting wild. He knows he's got his man in trouble, but he's not just throwing punches wildly. Nice right hand, drops him again.
That wasn't a flush punch, but I think there was the case of Woods' legs still not being there after the first knockdown and after the battering that he's taken so far.
Remember, there is no 3 knockdown rule.
Referee is Ruben Carrion, carrying out the mandatory 8 count, and looking very closely at the fighter Woods now. That's going to be it.
Yeah, and I think rightly stopped. Very much the mismatch, but let's take nothing away from Cal Brock. I think very impressive performance, his best as a pro.
Well, yeah, I think without question his best as a pro, and I just liked what I saw in there tonight. I know the first couple of times that I saw him, well, okay, let's see, maybe he'll get better. But tonight, I think he showed us something, Barry, as a professional fighter now. Now you think, hey, this kid's got a chance. And he won't have to just be the boxing banker and look for his very diverse portfolio in the future. He really has a future, now it looks like, in the heavyweight ranks.
Yeah, it stays like that, he might have some money to invest. Cal Brock, a 1-round knockout winner over Shawn Woods, and he did so in impressive fashion. Good performance for Cal. We're coming back. Welcome back. Fight Time on Fox Sports Net is being brought to you tonight by Western Union. Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide. By Kingsford Charcoal, because taste is everything. And by Honda Motorcycles. Honda, best on earth. We welcome you back. Our first fight in the books, a quick one-round knockout. Let's make it official now with Jimmy Lennon Jr. Jimmy?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes 42 seconds in round number 1. Our referee in charge, Ruben Carrion, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout and still undefeated, the boxing banker, Calvin, Mr. Sure Right Brock.
Well, Calvin Brock runs it to 5-0 with 4 knockouts, but this, I think, his best, and we're going to have an opportunity to listen in on Calvin.
Well, I just thought he looked better, Barry. He showed me some things in this fight tonight. He shortened up on his punches. They looked like real professional punches. Look at that very good counter punch. Taking advantage of his opponent's lazy right hand out there, and he immediately pounced on him. And Cal, look at how calm he is here. Look at how he's throwing those punches in that concise manner that we saw. Very short, crisp punches, and he just kept moving forward. And finally, he managed to get his man down. It was a very impressive performance by Cal.
And sitting down on his punch is much better than we've seen him too. Everything impressive. Let's find out what he has to say about it as we go to the center of the ring. Sean O'Grady with the winner. Sean?
Thanks, Barry. Guys, this is really what we've been waiting for from Calvin Brock. What happened tonight?
Well, I just went out there and did what I've been doing in the gym, working behind my jab, keeping my balance, and throwing good, crisp, hard shots.
You two were fighting a replacement, but as I talked to you earlier, you cannot allow for this fight to go 4 rounds. Why?
Well, as you mentioned, he was just a replacement. He was 200 pounds. You know, he had a good record. He was 10-2 with 9 knockouts. You know, I couldn't take him for granted. He had pretty decent power, so I had to keep my hands up, be on my P's and Q's, and work behind my jab and take advantage of every opening.
Let's take a look at the second knockdown here. Now, Calvin, you have told me in the past, you know what, I don't want to go to decisions. I want knockouts. Why is that so important?
That's what people like. People like to see knockouts. I like knockouts. Knockouts are marketable. And people in this day and time don't want to see no full boxing match go all the distance.
What are you thinking here? Calvin, what are you thinking right here?
Well, right now I'm thinking, well, before I was thinking, take my time. He may try and come back, although he's hurt. A dangerous man can be a hurt man can be dangerous. So I was taking my time, looking out for his punches, and yet and still taking every advantage of every opening I could get him to land a hard punch.
And you took advantage of the opening, and now you go to 5-0.
Right.
Calvin Brock, 5-0 with 4 KOs, undefeated. He's a heavyweight, perhaps one of the future world beaters. Back to you guys.
Yeah, I thought did a great job tonight. So Calvin Brock in our first fight is a winner in less than 1 round. Will it be the night of the whackouts here on a steamy night in San Antonio, Texas? We're going to find out. Plenty of bonus coverage coming your way. We got a lot to talk about from Sunset Station when we come back.
Number 1.